What news?" "Shall I tell it to you right from the beginning?" "Yes, please," I said. "I like good news." She had finished her omelette, and I had had enough of my cheese. She wiped her lips with a napkin and said, "As soon as we arrived back in Norway, I picked up the telephone and made a call to England." "Who in England, Grandmamma?" "To the Chief of Police in Bournemouth, my darling. I told him I was the Chief of Police for the whole of Norway, and that I was interested in the peculiar happenings that had taken place recently in the Hotel Magnificent." "Now hang on a sec, Grandmamma," I said. "There's no way an English policeman is going to believe that you are the head of the Norwegian police." "I am very good at imitating a man's voice," she said. "Of course he believed me. The policeman in Bournemouth was honoured to get a call from the Chief of Police for the whole of Norway." "So what did you ask him?" "I asked him for the name and address of the lady who had been living in room 454 in the Hotel Magnificent, the one who disappeared." "You mean the Grand High Witch?" I cried. "Yes, my darling." "And did he give it to you?" "Naturally he gave it to me. One policeman will always help another policeman." "By golly, you've got a nerve, Grandmamma." "I wanted her address," my grandmother said. "But did he know her address?" "He did indeed. They had found her passport in her room, and her address was in it. It was also in the hotel register. Everyone who stays in an hotel has to put a name and address in the book." "But surely the Grand High Witch wouldn't have put her real name and address in the hotel register," I said. "Why ever not?" my grandmother said. "Nobody in the world had the faintest idea who she was, except the other witches. Wherever she went, people simply knew her as a nice lady. You, my darling, and you alone, were the only non-witch ever to see her with her mask off. Even in her home district, in the village where she lived, people knew her as a kindly and very wealthy baroness who gave large sums of money to charity. I've checked up on that." I was getting excited now. "And that address you got, Grandmamma, that must have been the secret headquarters of the Grand High Witch."